Are we live? Looks like it.
One would think. I think we are.
All right. Uhuru, everybody. Welcome to the Uhuru Solidarity Movement's web show tonight in honor of Give St. Louis Day. I'm very excited to be your MC tonight. My name is Casey Mackey, and I'm just going to be playing some tunes for a little bit. While we build this, we want people to go follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on notifications so that you get notified when we go live on YouTube. Like and follow our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Uhuru Solidarity. Follow us on Instagram at Uhuru Solidarity. And also go follow the social media pages of the Black Power Blueprint, which we have been raising resources for all day and are going to continue to do into the night for the last power hour of the day for Give St. Louis Day, which I'll explain in a moment. So we want you to go follow Black Power Blueprint on Facebook and on Twitter, and also subscribe and turn on notifications for the Black Power Blueprint YouTube channel. I'm going to go share this Zoom into some groups real quick. Go share on my timeline. Give it a like. Let's get it into the Uhuru Movement Worldwide group. And I'm going to share it to the group chat and also invite friends to watch. There's a lot to do to spread the good word of African internationalism. Hope everybody's having a good night, had a good Give St. Louis Day. Shout out DJ Python who made this track. So I'm gonna turn this music down and we can get started. Thank you for sharing, everybody. Welcome to our web show tonight. I'm super excited to be on here. We ask you to, like I said, subscribe to our channels. And again, my name is Casey Mackey. I'm the Midwest Regional Coordinator for the African People's Solidarity Committee, or APSC, the constituent organization of the African People's Socialist Party, with the mission of organizing the white community to a stand of reparations. I'm also the Midwest Regional Organizer for Uhuru Solidarity Movement, which is the mass organization of APSC and the vehicle for taking the stand of APSC to as many white people as possible who are sick of the genocide and colonial violence against African people that happens in our name and which is committed by us, as we saw today. So tonight we are going live in honor of Give St. Louis Day, which is a 24-hour fundraising day to benefit local nonprofits and across the region. And USM has been building Give St. Louis Day in support of the party's nonprofit, the African People's Education and Defense Fund, or APEDF, the baddest nonprofit on the planet, who have built for the last 3 years the Black Power Blueprint in North St. Louis. And we are actually broadcasting live from North St. Louis, as well as St. Petersburg, Florida, during this quarantine from the serious coronavirus epidemic that we are facing. So I want to begin by saluting Chairman Omala Yeshitela, our leadership, whose vision for political and economic power in the hands of the African working class has been the strategic basis for the work of the African People's Socialist Party for the last 50 years. And as Chairman Omala Yeshitela has explained, building inch by inch, we are capturing political terrain and pushing back gentrification here on the north side of St. Louis. We also salute Deputy Chair Onazaneya Shatella, the Black Power Blueprint Director, under whose leadership I also work, and who leads all the economic work for the entire Uhuru Movement and is just an incredible, powerful leader. We have the baddest leadership on the planet, y'all. I feel so like just safe, like so informed, so confident and hopeful that a new world has come into existence, because I can see with my own eyes the leadership of this movement that is so works overtime to fight for a better future. So Deputy Chair actually came here to St. Louis in 2017 with the mandates laid out from the chairman, his political report, who saw the potential for buying up abandoned buildings and transforming them. And people couldn't even people who were part of this movement, even Ticharwa was admitted that he couldn't see the vision of the Uhuru house that we're going to show pictures of before it was renovated. And so this whole project has just gotten so much support from around the world, from African people and from white people who want to contribute as a stand of reparations. So I am just very excited to say that tonight we are interviewing Ticharwa Masimba, who is the Economic Development Director of the Black Power Blueprint, as well as winner of Comrade of the Year by the African People's Socialist Party. So we're very honored to have Ticharwa. Uhuru, and welcome Ticharwa. Oh, I can't hear. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear Ticharwa.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, I can hear him. I can hear him.
Okay.
I just realized that my music is still playing in the background. Let me pause that and turn y'all up. All right. So thank you. And also, we have on with us tonight two comrades in the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. We have one of our Southeast Regional Coordinator, Jackson Hollingsworth, Uhuru Jackson.
Uhuru Casey, an honor to be on here.
Uhuru comrade. And we have another member of the African People's Solidarity Committee and chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, Jesse Neville. Uhuru.
Uhuru KC and Jackson, and I really want to salute and welcome Ticharwa Masimba. Great honor to have you on the program with us tonight. Really excited for Give St. Louis Day for the Black Power Blueprint. Uhuru.
All right, so before we start the interview, we have a few people to thank, actually quite a few people. We just want to thank everyone who hosted a campaign. So Give St. Louis Day, if I didn't explain it before, is this 24-hour day of giving. And it's not just the day of May 7th. This campaign has been built for a few months, and several members of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement created their own campaign with a commitment of their own fundraising goal to contribute to Give St. Louis Day campaign. So this fundraising day gives people the opportunity to make their own campaign on the website and get their friends and family to donate. So I just want to shout out everyone who did that, which was Jesse Neville, Uhuru, Wendy Craig out in San Diego, Jackson Hollingsworth, Mel Q, Catherine Bussey, who's right here in St. Louis, Santosh, Leah Fifield, and Virginia Wilson, Ali Ayello, who's in St. Pete. Sorry, some people I'm not sure where they are. Some I do. We have Hallie Murray, who did one, who's in Boston, Mads Ambrose, who is in Portland, Janet Van Fleet, Erica Zimmel, Carrie Dawn Porter out in Huntsville, Declan and Carvin, our comrades in New York, Paula Lipsy, Ron Hudson in Seattle, Stefan Ledger, I think in Portland, Kristen Forthen in Spokane, Nina Guevara in New York, Marissa Ricchetti in Portland, Ann Hirsch in St. Pete, Monica Chiotti in Portland, Johan Bedingfield in St. Pete, Amanda Carlozzi in St. Pete, Susanna Snowden Lift, who is in, you know her Jackson, right? Where's Susanna?
Near Pasadena.
Okay, Cool. Shout out Susanna, Jamie and Sarah Edwards, Diane Tournay, and Gil Obler. So Uhuru, salute to all those comrades who did amazing fundraisers. And also some of those comrades went live to raise money. So Carbon and Declan did a 5-hour dance party live stream. Hallie Murray did a finger loop weaving workshop. Jackson, our comrade Jackson, did a Harry Potter trivia with Susanna. And who else? We also had Nina, who did a dance workshop, and Carrie Dawn Porter, who did yoga for reparations, and Santosh did live painting for his fundraiser. So we saw a really amazing outpouring of creativity from this campaign. And I just really want to appreciate the comrades that hosted a fundraiser. And we also had over 100 donors to this campaign. So I'm going to try and read all of their names as well in the most exciting way possible so that you stay on and keep sharing, because we have a really great program tonight. So we have Noel Rivers, who donated $157. Uhuru to that. We have 2 anonymous donations here for $200 and for $50. Raya Fogarty for $40. Rebecca Hankins for $100. She lives right here in St. Louis. Casey, that's myself. I donated actually once every power hour, because with the St. Louis Day Power Hours, you can actually have the opportunity for the nonprofit's donation to be lifted, because every power hour, the St. Louis Community Foundation portions out a prize fund of $20,000 to all the nonprofits who participate in those power hours. So the last power hour is right after this webinar. So we want you to go donate right at 10 o'clock Central for that last power hour at givestlday.org/Black Power Blueprint. So we also have here Judy Drozda for $60, Santosh for, let's see, 10. It looks like Santosh was doing what I was doing, which is donating every power hour. We have Jesse Neville, Uhuru for $10, probably more. Paula Lipsy for $50. Stefan Ledger for $100. Uhuru. Gil Wyhaupt right here in in Illinois for $50. John Harrison, who's a pastor here in St. Louis, for $70. Jesse Call out in Seattle for $25. We have James Prifty in St. Louis for $100. Margaret Oppenheimer for $50. Going to the next page here. Oh my gosh, there's so many. We have Jabria Taylor in St. Louis for $15. Amanda Cribbs in Portland for $20. Mads Ambrose, Ali Ayello. I'm just going to keep going with the names. Chia Kota and Sunka, Tina Tao, Alex Miles, Andrew Akambi out in New York, Brooks Bowen, Nikki Duval, Sarah Swillam. Uhuru to all of you. Thank you so much. This webinar is a thank you to you. We have Diana Corte, Nina Guevara again, Hallie Murray, Karina McKenna, Kristen Jacobson, Jeanette Cruz, Barbara Bedingfield. We have family members of our comrades in here. We have here Leah Fifield. We have Sarah Edwards. We have Anna I cannot pronounce that name. I'm sorry, Anna. Out in Portland. Rachel Ryan, Whitney Hall. We got Tyler Witt, Todd Smith, Jeanne Jacobson, Carrie Simon. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then we also got Kristen Jacobson, Thea Mertens, Dominique Ricchetti, Anna Leah Williams, Erica Zimmel again, Janet Van Fleet again, Stefan Ledger again with another 100, Benjamin Pushner, Jeremy Jackson, Diane Tournay, Wendy Snyder, Janice Kant, Christine Alamano, Jennifer Wurst, Laura Brett, Amber Seal. My God, this is a mass movement. We have Julia Bussey out here in St. Louis, Kathy Wynn, Wendy Craig, Lloyd Zimmel, Maz already said. We have some couple repetitive donors here, which is great. Chamtoli, we have Gary Fifield, Ben Jacobson, Virginia Wilson, Mary Crowell, Ron Hudson, and Elizabeth Goodlaxon Levy. So Uhuru, to those 100 or so donors, thank you so much for getting us to over $5,000.
Oh. Right.
Yes, that's so awesome. That was really fun reading all those names. So Uhuru to everybody. Now, but one more thing before we go into the interview is we actually have a new video to debut that includes some very powerful volunteer testimonials and some really great footage of the marketplace construction and the progress with the community garden, as well as a new interview with Gary Brooks from last.
The Black Power Blueprint means to me a way that the Black people can have an actual voice in what is going on in their community. It's the way that we can come together and feel proud about what is happening in our community. And the Black Power Blueprint is the way that I believe is going to unite the community as a community that works together for one cause. The Black people, the Black population.
Sorry for the little technical difficulty there.
Voice, being able to take that.
We're going to start that over.
Okay, we're just going to start over.
Oh my.
In a better way.
Uhuru, all right, little technical difficulty here with Zoom, so we are trying to get to the bottom of that, and we'll be showing you this video in just a moment. Okay, there it is. The danger of having too many tabs open. Okay, here we go. The Black Power Blueprint. And this is the Give St. Louis Day Black Power Blueprint video. All right, here we go. Let's start from the beginning.
Awesome. Do it.
Good.
The Black Power Blueprint means to me a way that the Black people can have an actual voice in what is going on in their community. It's the way that we can come together and feel proud about what is happening in our community. And the Black Power Blueprint is the way that I believe is going to unite the community as a community that works together for one cause. The Black people, the Black population coming in power with one voice, being able to take those things and to add on to our lives a better life and a better way.
So the Black Power Blueprint, I think, points to giving small businesses or individuals that are of African descent a chance to grow and to empower themselves economically. It just represents love for a community that has not been loved since this country was founded.
Seems like, quote unquote, people that didn't want to be in the city, now they want the city, and so that's pushing us back as a people. And but now, things that were desolate, buildings that were vacant, that you all are buying now and trying to make sure that, something's given back to the city and making people feel like that they may have something to reach out to in their community. So I think it's very important what you all are doing to give back to the community and helping those that probably wouldn't venture outside of their community to get help. But now they can come right there and get the help that they need. I mean, as far as I understand, you all open up a market soon, where you all be selling, fresh vegetables. And it's so important that, even that we begin to eat more healthier, and eat right, and things that some people in the community don't have cars. They can't get everywhere. But to put it back in, I think it's really awesome.
It had been a flyer going around and a Facebook event going around about this Martin Luther King's Day event that was at the Uhuru House. And I had been hearing about it the house, but I had never had time because I'm always at work and doing these things. So when I seen that, I was like, okay, I'm off today because I got that holiday off. And so I went to the Uhuru House for that day, for Martin Luther King's Day. And the chairman was speaking that day, and the energy that was there, and what they was focusing on, and just the information, just like it got me locked and loaded right then, and just the movement and what they was doing with the community and where they were located at. That really touched me. So that's how I became acquainted with the Uhuru House. So it definitely takes our community to be able to make effective change in our community. So what they're focusing on is like building not only political power, but economical power. And that in itself is a movement right there. So just having some people that has knowledge about our history, where we been and where we could possibly go, like that's powerful. And the fact that they buy it up the block, they're showing people in the neighborhood that you can have more.
The Black Power Blueprint to me is very vital. It's very important, mostly because I'm aware of it, and I'm awake to the principles that the Black Power Blueprint stand for. To me, it stands for the economic development and empowerment of Black people, and giving us our independence and freedom through those economics and resources that have been starved of our communities for centuries.
The garden boxes, I've got all the plants in the boxes. The cabbage, lettuce, cabbage, tomatoes, peppers, onions, all of those things are in the garden box growing now. And we get a lot more sunlight. They'll produce a lot faster. I got oak tree growing. I got mustard and turnip and spinach green going, collard greens. I got squash. I've got some cauliflower. It's a number of vegetables that's growing in the boxes, and plan on adding a couple of more boxes for a little bit more variety of garden vegetables to grow. And all kind of peppers and hot peppers, mild peppers, sweet peppers, white onions. I've got some red onions I'm going to put in a little later. Just a lot of variety of plants and vegetables growing. Looking forward to seeing everybody. And come on out and enjoy the garden and the view and the pavilion and everything. It's coming. The time is coming. It's a joyful time for everybody.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yes. So, yeah, it's really powerful. I love the last part where Mr. Gary Brooks says, it's a great time to be alive or something like that. It's just, it's a joyful time. It's a joyful time to be alive because this COVID-19 crisis that we're going to talk about is very, very serious. But what we can have hope for is the African People's Socialist Party and the Uhuru Movement and all the work that's being done to fight back against the colonial virus and build a better world. So that's why I want to ask at the end of this web show, go to givestlday.org/Black Power Blueprint to contribute towards the Give STL Day campaign and see even more photos and stories. And we want to say that the impact of the coronavirus, the quarantines and shutdowns are hitting the African community very hard. And that includes the Black Power Blueprint, which is committed to putting power in the hands of the African working class. Yet the beautiful giant red, black, and green flag is still flying high over the Black Power Blueprint event space that we just saw. And it's a powerful symbol of African unity and a future of liberation and self-determination. So let's get started with this interview. I'd like to bring on Ticharwa Masimba and say, Ticharwa, it's an honor for you to be here. Thank you so much. You are the Economic Development Director of the Black Power Blueprint, and on the board of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, or APEDF. Tell us, what is the APEDF mission and what kind of work does it do?
All right, Uhuru. Yeah, first of all, I just want to say I appreciate being invited to take part in this webinar, this web show, and build the Black Power Blueprint through donations and recognition of Give STL Day. This is a project that was initiated, the African People's Education and Defense Fund. I think it's been about 25 years in existence. Started by the African People's Socialist Party and Chairman Omali Yeshitela, the incredible visionary and initiator for the Black Power Blueprint. And then Deputy Chair Onazane Yeshitela, who has carried the torch, who came and worked on the ground to organize a whole community that was facing incredible conditions of dilapidation, and as somebody said, economic starvation, where all of our resources have been turned over to another people. And so I appreciate being a part of this. I want to thank you also, Casey, and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, its chair, and Chair Jesse Neville, and Penny Hess, who leads the African People's Solidarity Committee. But the African People's Education and Defense Fund, its mission is to address the grave disparities in health, healthcare, education, and economic development, and then to defend the human and civil rights of the African community. So it's a nonprofit that has that mission, because we see these disparities, and they could not be more evident right now, especially in terms of the whole question of healthcare. As we see this whole pandemic that is ravaging the planet, but we see that everywhere we see African people, this virus is killing us in rates, in some places up to 70%. And people talk about, for example, they talk about pre-existing conditions, but the fact is, the healthcare system is a for-profit healthcare system that is designed to ensure that those who are at the helm of it get paid. And if you don't have money, then you don't get treatment. So APEDF came into existence to address these disparities, but we see it's a life and death situation for African people. 70% of all deaths in some places. And in, I think it was Richmond, Virginia, every case so far, every death of an African so far, every death of a COVID-19 related death is an African. And in St. Louis, it was 100% up until recently. It's about 84% now. But even before this pandemic, we saw a battle, for example, in St. Louis, where the Black Power Blueprint is. We saw a battle to save the African community from gentrification, as we saw this whole SPY Center being planted to take 1,000 acres of traditionally, historically African-dominated North St. Louis, and to push out a whole African city, to displace a whole African city, to make an assault on a whole African city by planting a spy agency there. And many of us recognize also that even before that happened, African people in the city of St. Louis, for example, had been starved for decades of any kind of economy to really create the conditions for Africans to be pushed out. So in every way in life, we could talk about St. Louis, but we could talk about that anywhere on the planet that we see African people. So we see African people being pushed out, taken advantage of, exploited in every aspect of life. Economics, healthcare, the education system is also a reflection of the whole social system that was created to bleed the African community of its labor, of its mineral resources, of its intellect. And so that's why we have the African People's Education and Defense Fund. That is why it created these dynamic institutions. So we have the Black Power Blueprint as its latest manifestation, which is this incredible project that you'll see more about, where we've purchased the 9,000 square foot building, renovated that building 3 floors. We have a banquet hall on the first floor, which is a real hub for the community to organize around political and economic questions. Also a place for families to come and celebrate birthdays, weddings, repasts, all of the above. And then we have offices on the second and third floor, where we have community organizations who can get office space. So we can make this a hub of political and economic vitality and struggle for the African community. So then you just saw the second portion of the Black Power Blueprint, which was the purchase of 2 buildings that we had to demolish. And we made way for the One Africa, One Nation marketplace that you just saw. You just saw Mr. Gary Brooks, who lives next door to the marketplace and who has really taken ownership of this whole process and really adopted it. Him, his brother, his nephew, we couldn't get them to stop working during the pandemic. So, and you'll see other projects perhaps, but APEDF has built these institutions. We built furniture stores in 2 cities, pie businesses. We have other Uhuru houses, but we've built these institutions to defend the civil and human rights of African people, because we have recognized that you have a whole social system that requires the ongoing theft and exploitation of a population through a social system that has its origins in slavery and colonialism. So that is what APEDF is, that is the mission. And we see the special need for it now in this concentrated form of exploitation and death, to be quite frankly, that we are dealing with right now. We see the need for a organization that can fight for the African community to have a healthcare system that does not require you to have money to participate, and to have an education system that can reflect our own history and our own aspirations to be a free and independent people. So Uhuru, and just want to remind everybody to go to givestl day.org, I think it is, forward Black Power Blueprint at 10 p.m., which is the power hour, as I understand, and donate. I mean, this is African self-determination on the ground. You can't get this any other place.
Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you so much. I definitely unite. Your answer spoke to this a little bit, but I wanted to ask, that I know that you're also functioning as the phone banking coordinator in the People's War Against the Colonial Virus, which is a strategy of the African People's Socialist Party in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Can you tell us why we call it a colonial virus and how this epidemic is impacting the African community?
Yeah, we said the African People's Socialist Party, the People's War Commission has said from the beginning, not just was said from the beginning of this pandemic, that the coronavirus is a colonial virus, that is not a medical problem, that it is a political problem. And we've been saying for nearly 50 years as an organization that the contradiction that African people face in the world is a contradiction of colonialism. And what that means is that you have a foreign and hostile entity that lives at the expense of another people. So it's no accident that we have a social system that has its origins in slavery and colonizing other people. And the whole white world was lifted up as a consequence of being able to steal the land, steal the mineral resources, steal the labor of African and other indigenous and colonized peoples across the world. So it's not a question of racism, which essentially is just, what the ideas in white people's heads. The fact is that you have an entity that is a hostile entity that was created that require the exploitation of another people. And so we understood that all of the conditions that we see that people call pre-existing conditions that make us more susceptible to COVID-19, that the pre-existing condition was a condition of colonial domination, is that we don't have control or access over our own, the products of our own labor. We have a healthcare system that is created to benefit another people at our expense. So we don't get healthcare. We can't afford to go to hospitals. And when we do go to hospitals, we get treated horribly. I mean, very few Africans will, Africans are almost more comfortable leaving about as comfortable leaving our loved ones in prison as we are in hospitals. I mean, if you go in a hospital, you may not come back out, no matter what it is, and we see that. So every aspect of our lives, we see that what people call pre-existing conditions are just symptoms of the fact that somebody is living off of our labor, off of what we produce. They require what we produce for the ability to retire, to live comfortable lives, middle class, upper class lifestyles, that the whole social system is configured to allow them to bleed the African community. So the pre-existing conditions that people talk about that supposedly make us more susceptible to COVID-19 are consequences of being a dominated people. For example, you see in Boston, this incredible statistic where African people have an average of $8 in net worth, whereas white people in the same city, same zip codes, few zip codes away, have a median average wealth of $247,000 compared to $8. And you've heard this statistic, many, that it'll take 228 years for African people to acquire the same amount of wealth that white people have today, not to catch up, but just to catch up to where they are, where white people are today. And in fact, African people in St. Louis, 30% of the population lives off an average of $5 a day. You got a prison system where you have more people in prison in the United States with just over 300 million people, more people in prison than China, which has 1 billion people. And the vast majority of those people are African and indigenous people. So that is the byproduct of a whole social system built at our expense. So whenever, as Malcolm said, white people get a cold, we get the flu. And if it's a pandemic for the entire world, then they don't have a word to describe what happens to the African community during a pandemic. And we see it in North St. Louis, we see it in Philadelphia, we see it in Chicago, we see it in Milwaukee, we see it in Philadelphia, we see it in so-called South Africa. And wherever you see African people, and there have been recent studies just coming out now talking about African people in the so-called UK, where we are 4 times more likely to die of COVID-19. And that's the fact, and that's a consequence of somebody having gotten hold to and stolen our resources and who are living at our expense. So they live longer as a consequence of creating conditions that require us to live a shortened lifespan. So that's why we call it the colonial virus. And that's why the Black Power Blueprint is building to be able to contend with a foul social system that lives at our expense.
Uhuru. Yes, I really completely unite with that answer, and that those statistics are really, really disturbing, and the colonialism is extremely horrifying. And you already spoke to my next question, which was, how is this epidemic going to affect the African community different than the white community? Because we've seen a lot of people saying, well, we're all in this together and we're all in the same boat. And Chairman Omali Yeshitela said, well, yeah, African people and white people were in the same boat. White people were the slave masters on the rafters, while African people were shoved into little crates on the bottom of the ship or leaping overboard, which was a better fate than having to be sold into slavery. So, we see a total difference in how this virus is affecting the white community, where a lot of white people can work from home, can, just afford to be able to stock up on massive amounts of food. And their greatest, our greatest concern is like, how are we going to deal with all this time inside and not go crazy, and trying to find different hobbies. And whereas African people are catching hell, we've already seen members of our movement who have passed away, whose friends and family have been taken by this, and recognizing that it is a political problem, not a medical problem, because all of the majority of people dying from this are African. And it is no coincidence. Like you said, it's a result of the social system. So I just really appreciate that. And I wanted to actually ask also, what it's like, because you're leading the phone banking work for the People's War. So why is that? What's that process been like? Who are you calling? What are the kind of responses that you're getting?
Yeah, I want to answer that, and also just wanted to add a little bit to the question that I messed up by answering in the previous question. But you know, you are exactly correct, and we saw some of the this tendency to want to be like a humanist, early on in this when statistics started coming out, and when before people started experiencing certain aspects of COVID-19, where people would try to really minimize or deny the fact that this thing is hitting African people especially hard. And not only is it hitting African people especially hard, that because it is hitting African people especially hard, the United States government and the white ruling class governments all over the world have very little interest in responding to the special crisis that impacts African people. But we've been winning that war through the People's War to help people understand that this is a political problem, that this is not just some kind of a consequence of a nameless, objective disease that can affect anybody. The fact is that we already have weakened immune systems, literally and politically, so to speak, because we live under constant oppression. We live in situations of high stress where many of us, are living every day, living paycheck to paycheck. As I said, $5 a day for 30% of the African community in North St. Louis. So we live this constant precarious existence. Family members, if we are not the ones ourselves in jail, imprisoned, you have children, mothers, African mothers typically are afraid when they find out that they are pregnant. We just live this whole precarious existence. So some people initially wanted to just try to call this some kind of disease affecting all people. They wanted to rally America or whatnot to get behind this thing. But we see just like every question that affects every human being on the planet, that you have two basic realities. And it manifests itself in two different ways. You have the population of people in the world who are living at the expense of the vast majority of the other peoples of the planet, who benefit materially from every question. That's why we say APDF, healthcare, education, economics. There's not a question in life, relationships, love, our ability to have relationships with our family members. Every question is under attack because every aspect of our lives is subject to living with the bare minimal amount of resources, living under constant oppression, psychological oppression all day. And the fact is that, but one thing that can be said though, is that we should recognize this whole social system is a social system that diminishes the life potential of every human being on the planet. And that's not to liquidate the question, the fact that one people face it especially, but this is a horrible system for the entire planet. We see like Cuba and Venezuela, who these relatively small economies, tiny economies compared to the capitalist economies that dominate the world. Cuba, the small island, able to marshal this incredible response to offer cures or potential cures, to provide people free rent, to provide them subsidies for the loss of income. And this social system right here the only response is to give nearly $2 trillion to the largest in corporations and the highest, richest people in the country. And the vast majority of the people get maybe $1,200 if they're lucky. And so we don't even know what the potential is for life to be organized in a more humane way for everybody on the planet, quite frankly. And so, but it's African people and other colonized people who catch the brunt of it. 1.3 million cases of COVID-19 in the U.S. Over 70,000 deaths. I think about 76,000 now reported deaths, I should say. 70% or more of those are African in many places where people have even attempted to count. So that's the work that we're doing. So the phone banking is one aspect of what we are calling the people's war, to really organize the masses of people to engage in a struggle to challenge and destroy a whole illegitimate and inept social system. I mean, everybody should see right now how naked and illegitimate this social system is, how incapable it is of responding to any human need on the planet, except for the white nation in general, and the richest sectors of the white nation in particular. So they're making war on Venezuela right now. They're sending drones and dropping bombs on Somalia right now to try to take a special advantage of this crisis right now, to continue to bleed the resources from the vast majority of the people on the planet. So we have to organize the people. We have to help the people understand that the central contradiction in the world today is a contradiction where you have an oppressor nation living at the expense of oppressed nations of the world. So we phone bank, we call people, we check on people, we let them know that we are concerned about them, and we ask about their families. And in many cases, we ask if they have symptoms. We're setting up a telehealth hotline with medical professionals who can respond. We've been going door to door, putting up posters and giving out leaflets, doing flooding the internet with all kinds of web shows like the one we're on now, to educate the people about the impact of COVID-19, the protocols that we've developed as an organization, and then how to understand this politically so we can bring people into organization and we can challenge this whole illegitimate, inept, monstrous social system that people refer to as colonial capitalism.
Wow. Yes. That was extremely powerful. Kind of one of those answers that as you're talking, I'm like, we need to transcribe this and publish it as an article and share, just get a clip of that and share that, because that is so profound. Just how, even the statistic that we have 1.3 million cases, 76,000 deaths, and over 70% are African people. And, that this is obviously part of the colonial agenda, because the US only response, unlike Cuba, who's actually, like you said, providing for the people, sending doctors all over the world to combat this. And all the US can do is give trillions of dollars to corporations and pass out $1,200 maybe to every so-called US citizen, which we know is a special designation for white people, because this is a white people state. And I just totally unite with that. And I'm just so appreciative of this movement for creating a place for white people to respond to everything that you laid out in a principled way and take an honest stand of reparations. And I really salute the phone banking team for calling all this movement's supporters to check in on them, and the telehealth hotline is such amazing work. And I'm just really, really inspired by everything this movement's doing, and just honored to be a part of it as part of the solidarity movement. So thank you so much. I have one last question, and that is, what are the next steps for the Black Power Blueprint in the era of COVID-19, and what kind of volunteer positions are open? Uhuru.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because the fact is that we have to continue to move forward, because as you suggested, and as we've summed up, the People's War has summed up the COVID coronavirus is a colonial virus, which means that colonialism isn't something that just happened at the beginning of 2020 and late 2019. And it didn't begin when Trump took office. It's a virus that has infected the majority of the people on the planet for nearly 600 years. And so we have that as at the forefront of our agenda, to take on that social system, which will exist whether we have COVID-19 or not, unless we take it on. So we will continue the work that we're doing. We will continue to move forward and see how we can plan to open up the One Africa, One Nation marketplace that we've built the structural capacity for that you just showed, and see whether or not we can move forward to have our first market perhaps in July. We have to look at that and see what permits we can get, but we are moving forward with the work. So, we'll continue with the fourplex that we have to develop so that Africans who are locked into these dungeons, they call prisons, who are right now sitting ducks, who are sitting in a petri dish of coronavirus infections. Some have said right now we want to be able to go into the prisons, get them out. We've provided some housing that will allow them to participate in the workforce program. We have a commercial kitchen that we're developing here in North St. Louis, and putting on the ground our thriving pie business to expand it to St. Louis. So we have to continue this work. And then we have to continue the political work to help people understand the nature of colonialism so that we don't blame ourselves and we don't continue to just live vulnerable to the whims and machinations of our colonizers. So, we'll open up the furniture. We want to reopen the furniture stores that we have in Philadelphia and in Oakland, reopen the Uhuru House and resume the markets that we have in other cities. We have the Uhuru House in St. Petersburg, Florida, resume the markets that we run in other cities. And we want to just continue to expand the Black Power Blueprint and give the colonized African nation in St. Louis, in the US and throughout the world, the economic capacity to feed, clothe, and house ourselves and to contend with the social system that lives at our expense until we are able to overturn this relationship that we have with white power. So that's what we are calling on people to be a part of. This is not just some other charity. It's not another charity. Either you want to overturn the social system or you don't. And this is a project that's designed to contend with that. Uhuru.
Uhuru, I unite. Yes. Thank you so much. Very excited. So where can people go if they want to volunteer?
Oh, they can go to blackpowerblueprint.org. Blackpowerblueprint.org. We have a number of volunteer positions listed. You can choose one, but we need people for almost anything you can imagine. You mentioned phone banking. We always need people to phone bank, to reach out to donors, volunteers, friends, and to bring them into the work, or to just let them know that we are thinking about them, or to help us organize events. We need people who can work to organize vendors for our upcoming markets. We need people who may have a background, or even just the interest in working with contractors so that we can begin to renovate some of the buildings that we've purchased. So you name it, we have a lot of positions available, and those are just some.
Awesome. Well, now I am really excited. I just want to encourage people to go to blackpowerblueprint.org anytime, and also right when this webinar ends at 10 p.m. Central, although we might go over time because it's already 9:54. Dang, time really flew by. So we're probably going to go a little bit later. I think we should. I'm having fun.
No, I mean, if anyone needs to get some rest, obviously we will forgive you if you have to go, but I think we should stay on until at least 5 after so we can cheer on all the donations that are going to come flooding in.
Yes, I unite. Because, yeah, we should stay on till the power hour, which starts at 10 p.m. Yeah. So we want you to go.
5 minutes. We're good.
Right. Give stlday.org/Black Power Blueprint. Okay.
Yeah.
Go there.
Yeah. We want to encourage people to donate.
Yes.
Much of this, the Black Power Blueprint has been funded by North Americans, white people who want to contribute and act of reparations, who understand at various levels this relationship they have with everybody else on the planet, and who want to rectify that relationship. But we also call on Africans to donate as well, because we have to fight for self-determination. We have to fight to take ownership of our struggle and to build a movement that will take us all the way.
Uhuru, Ticharwa, and Casey, and Jackson, and everyone. I just wanted to express my deep unity with everything that Ticharwa Masimba said in this powerful, powerful interview. And I'm so glad that we were able to do this web show tonight and interview such an incredible leader within the African People's Socialist Party. And I just wanted to let people know that this interview was inspiring people to go ahead and donate. People who did put in within the last hour, including Ali Ayello, who put in $100.
Wow.
Yes, Uhuru. Penny Hess, who's the chairwoman of the African People's Solidarity Committee. We really want to salute APSC chairwoman Penny, who put in $25. Riley, who's also a veteran member and leading member of the African People's Solidarity Committee, put in $25. Janice Kant, who's also a veteran member and leading member of APSC, put in $20. And Ron Hudson, our magnificent comrade out in Seattle, put in $30. So the Black Power Blueprint has actually brought in $5,287 from Give St. Louis. And that is going to change in the next 4 minutes, I'm sure, because people have got their wallets out. I'm looking for mine because I'm going to be putting in some and donating at the Power Hour. And I just wanted to let Ticharwa know, and all of you know, that people have been really appreciating this interview. And I just wanted to let you know some of the people who are tuning in. We have Deputy Chair Onezene Yeshitela, the incredible African revolutionary leader who spearheads the whole Black Power Blueprint, who is tuning in. Uhuru to Deputy Chair. And also Nyindu, who is actually a founding member of the African People's Socialist Party, going back many years to the the founding days, the early days when the party was formed by Chairman Omali Yeshitela through a merger of JOMO and 2 other African organizations here in the South. So really want to salute Nyindu for tuning in, who says, Uhuru, we are winning. Dimitri Cooper from Impedum is tuning in, and many other people. Ann Hirsch, Comrade Ann, who actually surpassed her personal goal and who is asking what happens during the Power Hour, which is that when you donate during the Power Hour, there are prizes that are awarded. There is more resources that are made available to organizations based on a certain percentage that's actually rather complicated. I was looking at the website earlier, some formula of mathematical formula that results in more money coming in through the Black Power Blueprint. So it's a great way to even make your resources count even more. And then we also have Fofeet, who is part of the medical advisory team of the People's War Commission of the African People's Socialist Party. And I want to salute Fofeet for tuning in. We also had Matope, who along with Ticharwa hosts the incredible People's War radio show. Yes. And also, and I really hope I don't mispronounce it, but Candice, I hope I'm saying that right, or Miss Pendleton Jones, who is saying, Ticharwa, you spoke the truth so well, and I agree completely with that. And Candice, okay, thank you, Ticharwa.
Also, Uhuru, my Aunt Gay is tuning in. Uhuru, Aunt.
Hey, all right, we got the family on board. Yes. And I just want to appreciate Comrade Diane Tournay, who said that she's going to donate $30 in honor of her childhood friend, Scott Morris, who passed away on Sunday and who donated to the Black Power Blueprint last year. So we want to, appreciate Comrade Diane and say, Scott Morris, presente, and we salute the memory of this comrade who was a supporter of the African self-determination movement. And we really appreciate Diane for doing that and for raising up that memory. I also want to salute, I think I mentioned Ann Hirsch, but Ann has raised already, I think, over $200 towards her own fundraiser. Nice. And so many people have been participating in this incredible campaign, and it's been extremely powerful. So, oh, it's 11 o'clock now. Well, it's 10 o'clock your time.
Power hour.
I'm what I'm doing right now, I'm going to give STL Day / Black Power Blueprint. And somebody was asking, does it have to be through one of the personal fundraisers? Yes, it has to be through mine. Just kidding. No, it can be through any of them, or you can just go straight to givestlday.org / Black Power Blueprint and click the big green button that says donate now, and contribute. It all goes to the same goal. It ends up updating the same goal. So I'm about to donate through my own.
Can you hear that link one more time?
What was
the
that?
website is givestlday.org / Black Power Blueprint.
Givestlday.org / Black Power Blueprint. I put in how much I'm donating. Do I want to be anonymous? No, I am loud and proud. And okay, so you fill out some of this stuff here, add to cart, make your contribution. Let's get to $6,000 and beyond. These resources are urgently needed. This is a life and death question. I think Ticharwa just laid it out so brilliantly that the colonial virus began and has been ravaging and killing and shortening the lifespan of African people long before there was ever such a thing called COVID-19. And, you know, those statistics just give you a sense of a reality that is lived in the everyday lives of African people in this country. Like, I mean, look what happened with this case in Georgia, where this man, Ahmaud Arbery, was shot down by these two white nationalist white men on the back of a pickup truck with their rifles, their shotguns, just shot him down dead. And, you know, didn't even get charged with the crime until today. And that happened like in February. And that is nothing new in this country. For over 100 years, thousands upon thousands of African people were lynched in broad daylight by white people who never, ever even faced any charges for any kind of crime, because it was legal. It was legal. It's state sanctioned violence. And that violence takes many forms. In St. Louis, an African person on the north side has a life expectancy of 18 years less than the average white person living on the south side of St. Louis. This is an untenable reality, an unbearable reality, one that we must find as white people, the ones who are on the other side of that life expectancy gap, where our ability to grow old and see our grandchildren grow up, it comes at the direct expense of African mothers having to worry about kissing their children goodbye for the last time when they go off to school. That reality has to be as painful and unbearable for each of us as white people as it is for African people. That's what it means to stand in solidarity with African people. That's what it means to pay reparations and to take the stand of reparations. So this is not charity. This is not a charity stance. Right. This is not about being nice, being kind, doing something out of the kindness of our hearts. This is about standing on the right side of history. This is about unleashing the stolen resources. And this is about our future as well. Because as Ticharwa said, this social system is not good for anybody. It is not good for anybody. So we have to get on the right side of history. We have to jump off this pedestal and contribute whatever we can. And I'm putting in $100 to the Black Power Blueprint literally right now. I'm multitasking because as I'm talking to you, I'm on the website. I'm putting in my email address and I'm putting in $100. So we want to and we want to encourage people to do the same. And now I'm having trouble multitasking, so I'm going to turn it back over to you, Casey, as I actually enter in my card info.
Okay, sounds good. Actually, no, because I need you to play a video in a second. We have like a 6-minute video that just shows the incredible transformation of the marketplace. It's a footage from 6 months compressed into 6 minutes. And we're going to show it, and Ticharwa is going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the video. So play the video, and then you can go donate.
Oh, I can't do both at the same time, but let's show the video.
Okay.
I'm good for my money here. Okay, so let's go to, this is the marketplace montage. Here we go.
Okay. So Uhuru, it'll be kind of hard to keep up with this, but so here we see construction, clearing the lots so we can begin to pave, I think. And I don't know if you saw the first clip of this building when we first started. It was in good shape and it had a fire, so it really caused a problem in terms of the look of the whole market. But here you see the concrete company dumping cement for the foundation. So this is the foundation for the stage. And I think it was like a 12-foot foundation. You see how deep it is. And you see these incredible workers from Paradigm Construction, owned by Leon O'Hara, an African-owned construction company, moving this cement around the foundation so that they can wall it in and make sure that this stage is safe. Now here you see the walkway leads from the street to the stage. So pour the concrete and coming back to the foundation. And so they had to take gravel after they laid the cement. They had to take gravel and put gravel all over the foundation, and the same thing for the sidewalk. I think they had to put it down before the cement. Yeah. So you see they smooth the cement out, and you just see this whole process coming together piece by piece. And it's incredible. When we talk about, we represent the African working class, it is the workers who produce all value in society. And that's what you see, people making society with their own hands. You know, and this is what we say is the African working class. It is the colonized workers of the world who have to have a social system that does not bleed them of the value of their production. Here you see Dave Brooks, Dave Keaton from Sideline Farms. It was laying the papers down. You'll see those at the end. You get a better picture. Here they're constructing the stage. So the foundation has been laid, and now they begin to construct the actual wood portion of the stage. You see the red, black, and green flag. And we want to acknowledge Musa Mantu, the comrade and warrior, who played a vital role in making sure that flag would be lifted every day, taken down every day. And again, we're just looking at the workers doing work, bringing in wood, more wood for the stage. So this will be a venue, an outdoor venue, where people can come and we can have entertainment venues, speakers, concerts. We'll also have vendors, farmers who sell products and merchandise and food. And we have a garden that you've yet to see that is along the building, not this building, but the building to the right of here. So this will be an incredible outdoor space. And the building in the background now is the Uhuru House, a 9,000 square foot building that we renovated as the first part of the Black Hawk Blueprint project. And here you see Paradigm Construction digging to be able to put the wood stakes in the ground so that we can build a fence around the outside. And then this is another fence that we got from a person right outside St. Louis. He gave us a very, very good discount, which amounted to a real principal kind of contribution to the work. And you see that Paradigm had to piece the fence together, piece the gate together, piece by piece, weld it together, welded it to the ground, and you see this incredible work. They took this fence that we got in pieces. We had to move it. We had volunteers. We're going to give a shout out to the volunteers who helped move this fence. And we brought it here, and they took the 20, 30, 40, 50 different pieces. They figured out how the pieces should fit together to make it look the best, and then they welded the fence together, this wrought iron fence, which was heavy. So now you see them putting cement into the cement truck. So This is what it looks like shortly after that. See the stage, see the beautiful fence and very cool design that acknowledges Mr. Gary Brooks, who named the garden after. And you see this beautiful stage, and you see the big gate in the back to give some privacy and beautify it. Now you see Mr. Gary Brooks with the shovel, with the cane in the background, and his brother with the shovel, and his brother's son. He lives right next door to the market.
This is where a lot of the flowers and stuff's gonna be over on this side over here. This will be, all the trees and the planter boxes will be on that side.
Yeah, so that'll be the gardener. He's enthusiastic. We cannot get him to sit down. We worry about him in the time of COVID-19, but he refuses to stop. So you see him here working. They're actually making the planter boxes for the garden. And they're doing it on top of the stage, but they're making the planter boxes. You see right there. I think they're about 6 feet long. So we'll have a community garden, and we've got vegetables, fruits. They've planted trees already. So the community has they've actually put the planter boxes of soil. That's the way. Beautiful transformation. You see lights along the pathway. So we just want to thank everybody. Leon O'Hara, Paradigm Construction, Eric LeGrone, the electrician, Gabe Keevan from Silock Farms, who did the pavers, Joth Construction, Trish and Andre, who leveled the buildings that were on top of that site, Rebecca Hankins from DTLS, the landscaping architects, MSD and Brightside and everybody, Gary Brooks and the whole committee, Black Power Blueprint Local Committee. I want to give a shout out.
Uhuru, wow.
Yeah.
So amazing. And I just want to let you know, I put in my 100. And I'm not the only one who's been donating. So we are actually at $5,538.
Hey.
That is so awesome. And I can't find the thing that tells me all the people who donated, but maybe you have that, KC.
Oh, you're just gonna pass that on me? No. We can find that. First, I think we should have Jackson. Well, just again, thank Ticharwa for that whole interview. That was really, really powerful. If you missed it, if you're just coming on right now, because I see that Dr. Aisha Fields, who leads Project Black Ankh, a project of the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project, is on. So Uhuru to Dr. Aisha. And if you missed, just want to say, if you missed the interview with Ticharwa, definitely watch this video again once we're done, because it was really, really good. So Uhuru, thank you to Ticharwa.
Uhuru, KC.
Yeah.
So I got some info for you and Ticharwa and everyone. So Stephanie Midler put in $10. Uhuru Stephanie in Oakland. Len Demmer in Philadelphia put in $50 for the Black Power Blueprint. Uhuru Len. Nina Guevara put in $20.
Woo, Nina!
Jackson Hollingsworth, $10. Uhuru.
Hey!
Ann Hirsch put in $10. Uhuru Ann.
Yes.
Virginia Wilson put in $10. Uhuru Virginia.
Uhuru.
Diane Tournay put in $30. And we mentioned that one earlier. So Uhuru to Diane and to everybody. And that brings us currently to $5,538.65. So we are more than halfway towards the goal that we had for this web show, which was to go from 5,000 to 6,000. So let's keep it going.
Yes, keep it going. If you have not yet donated, maybe we can convince you with a poem from our comrade, Jackson Hollingsworth, who is on tonight to deliver some culture and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, it is very important that one of our organizing tactics is to build a culture of reparations in the white community. So, because the thing about it is like white artists are only really cool because we're doing stuff that African people invented while living off their stolen resources, and only able to do these things because we have the stolen resources. So what we have to do if we have skills is to make our art and our skills about reparations to the struggle for African self-determination. So we call on the white community to join the Uhuru Solidarity Movement and build a culture of reparations and be like Jackson Hollingsworth, who has a poem for us tonight. Uhuru.
Uhuru. First, I really want to appreciate that introduction, Casey. I really want to salute Ticharwa Masimba for that incredible interview. I unite with Casey that if you're just tuning now, you can definitely go back and watch that powerful interview from Ticharwa Masimba of the African People's Socialist Party. I want to salute Chairman of the African People's Socialist Party, Deputy Chairman Stella, Chairwoman Penny Hess of the African People's Solidarity Committee, Chair Jesse, Casey, and of course, as I mentioned, Ticharwa. So this poem is called "The Road to Socialism is Painted Black," which is a slogan of the Uhuru Movement and Chairman Stella. So I will begin. Boxes and boxes and items from boxes and carts full of items made with the resources of Africa. They fill up our floors and our shelves and our cars. And yet we say Africa is poor, lazy, they can't manage themselves, or they're ignorant. It's not looting or stealing if we buy it from Amazon or Target, or so we tell ourselves if we have that conversation at all. We open our trunks, our doors, open the boxes, and exclaim it brings us joy, but we are still depressed. We are turning our backs on capitalism, we say, but have the door closed on reparations, despite the knocking. Knock, knock, knock. The road to socialism is painted black. Knock, knock.
Better answer the door.
Yes, answer that door.
Thank you, Jackson. That was beautiful. Really, really appreciate you being on tonight's program and sharing that with everybody. So we're at 5,612 and there is still 42 minutes left in this power hour. So we really want to encourage you to keep sharing the link. There's some Black Power Hour memes out on the Black Power Blueprint Instagram and Facebook, and you should definitely share those as well and reach out to friends and family. And just want to again thank everybody who has donated in this web show, and just how important it is that white people contribute to this as a stand of reparations, because Jesse mentioned earlier, the white nationalist violence that occurred against Ahmaud Arbery, and just that I've seen a lot of outrage from white people on Facebook about this, and I completely salute you taking a stand against this white colonial terror against a young African man, and that we're calling on you in the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, like Jesse was saying, to realize that this is the core of the social system. This is what is normal in America and around the world every single day. It's not just two rogue white men who are white supremacists. It's built into the system and to the economy. And that if we truly want to see an end to this horrific reality, then we have to join under the leadership of the oppressed people of the world. We have to join under the leadership of the African working class, who everything that you've seen tonight, the analysis, the powerful work of the Black Power Blueprint, of the People's Work Campaign, that's only possible because of the leadership of the African working class, who have no stake in replicating any aspect of the social system when building a new world. So we really want you to donate to the Give St. Louis Day campaign, whatever you have, share it with your friends and family, and keep organizing with this movement. Join the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Join any organization in the Uhuru Movement. Get in where you fit in. There's a place for you if you want to see an end to all injustices. And that solidarity, not charity, is our slogan that we've been saying for 40 years. So this is the place to be if you believe in that, for sure. We welcome you with open arms. We want to know you. So reach out to us because we have to make this revolution. Like Jesse was saying, even, the Black Power revolution is white people's future too. So,
True. We've got a few more donations in.
Oh, awesome.
Ticharwa Masimba, our amazing guest on this program, put in $25. Uhuru
Yes.
By the way, to everybody, I know you actually put in a little bit more than that because you covered the processing fees, most of you. So thank you for that as well. And also, help me out with the name again, Ticharwa. I'm sorry. Miss Pendleton Jones.
Candice
Jones put in $45. Uhuru Candice Jones.
Yeah, I don't like to say this kind of stuff on the air, but she's the woman who pushed me out.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Thank you.
Right on.
Nice.
Well, that's a great honor to have Miss Candice Jones watching the program tonight. Thank you so much. And thank you for your contribution, including Ticharwa, as well as your contribution to this fundraiser tonight. So Uhuru, we just want to thank everybody for the incredible contributions that you're making. And I want to let you know the total, $5,612 for the Black Power. Uhuru.
Oh, I forgot. There's one more Give St. Louis Day contest thing that they do. The last donation that comes in, that nonprofit is eligible for a $500 prize. So at 11:59.9 seconds or whatever, if you donate, the last nonprofit that receives a donation gets a $500 prize. So you can donate for Give St. Louis Day up until midnight. Just saying, and you should right before midnight. Actually, would it end at 11:59.009 or would it end right at 12:59? When is technically into when you're the next day? I have to find out. But anyway, try to donate at midnight. Because it will make the Black Power Blueprint eligible for a $500 prize. I'm pretty sure it's 11:59. So just wanted to announce that. And we still have 37 minutes left for this power hour. But I think that we just can thank everybody again and wish you all a great rest of your evening and close out the web show.
Uhuru. Thank you again to Ticharwa Masimba. Uhuru, and salute the African People's Social Party.
You're doing great work. We are winning.
We're winning. Woo! Uhuru.